When you think of Warren Buffett, you probably think of, well, a ton of money. But his real legacy, it's not the fortune, it's the blueprint he left behind. So in this explainer, we're going to break down his core principles for building not just a massive portfolio, but a genuinely better life.
Okay, so what if you had just 5 minutes with Warren Buffett? What life-changing advice would you ask for? What do you think he'd even say? Well, we've kind of done the homework for you. We've dug through decades of his wisdom to find the absolute core ideas, the stuff that can help you sidestep a lifetime of financial headaches. Let's get into the philosophy that made him who he is.
See, the thing is, what Buffett built is so much more than just a massive pile of cash. It's really a crisis-proof mindset. It's a way of thinking, right? And it's all built on these really simple but super powerful ideas that, honestly, anyone can use. And we're not just talking about your investments, we're talking about your whole life.
All right, so first things first, we have to start with the foundation, the internal game. I mean, before you even think about investing your money, you've got to invest in your mindset. So this first part, it's all about the psychology, the temperament, the stuff that really separates the winners from everyone else.
This quote, it just nails his entire philosophy, doesn't it? I mean, we live in a world that's just obsessed with speed, right? Quick wins, short-term gains. But Buffett, he sees patience as this powerful weapon. It's his secret advantage, really. It lets you be the calm one in the room when everyone else is freaking out. He won because he knew when to just wait.
What's so wild about this is how it completely flips the script on what we think investing is about. Buffett's whole point is that the biggest risks, they're not out there in the market. Nope, they're inside your own head. It has nothing to do with being a genius with a massive IQ. It's all about having the discipline to keep your emotions in check. You see the market tanking, and instead of panicking, you think, opportunity. That right there, that's the whole game.
Okay, this might be one of his most famous rules, and for good reason. It's designed to protect you. The rule is simple. If you can't explain how a business makes its money, to a 5-year-old, you're not investing. You're just gambling. And look, it's not about being an expert on everything under the sun. It's about knowing what you know, your circle of competence, and just staying there. That's what separates a real investor from a speculator. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. Now let's talk about the method. How does he actually do it? These are the practical nuts and bolts rules that Buffett actually uses to pick and manage his investments. Man, this comparison just makes it crystal clear, right? Buffett doesn't buy stocks. He buys businesses. Or, well, little pieces of them. And when you think like an owner, you stop caring about the crazy day-to-day price swings. You're focused on one thing, the actual long-term value of that company. Speculators? They're just chasing fads. An owner invests in the real thing. It is a totally different ballgame.
So let's be clear. Buffett did not get rich quick. He got rich slow. And this snowball metaphor, it's the absolute best way to get why. Compound interest is this almost magical idea where your money starts making its own money. It's like a tiny snowball at the top of a very, very long hill. At first, it's nothing, but you just let it roll, and eventually it becomes an unstoppable avalanche of wealth.
And look, this chart right here shows you exactly what I'm talking about. See that first bar, year 1? Pretty boring, right? But then look at year 10. Okay, something's happening. Then, bam, year 30. It's massive. And that's the key takeaway here. The most important thing isn't even how much money you put in. It's how early you start. Time. Time is the real magic ingredient. And this is where things get really interesting because Buffett's philosophy, it goes way beyond just the stock market. For him, these aren't just rules for investing. They're rules for living. So this next part, it's about your personal finances, yeah, but it's also about character and how you can build a life that's genuinely valuable. Remember that compounding snowball we talked about? Well, it's a double-edged sword. It can build you a fortune, or it can absolutely destroy you. This is Buffett's big flashing red warning sign about debt. High-interest debt, like from a credit card, that's compound interest working against you. It's a snowball of destruction rolling downhill, and it will crush your financial freedom if you let it. So how do you fight back? Here's the game plan. It's simple, but it's powerful. Step 1. Hunt down that high-interest debt and treat it like the emergency it is. Get rid of it. Step 2. Build a life where you're just living within your means. I know, it's not sexy, but it's the only way to flip the switch and make interest start working for you instead of the other way around. But here's something you won't find on any spreadsheet. For Buffett, your most valuable assets are invisible. First up, your reputation. He says it takes 20 years to build and just 5 minutes to absolutely ruin. Think about that. And second, the people you hang out with. Seriously. Surround yourself with people who are better than you, people with discipline and integrity, because you're going to end up being a lot like them. All right, this brings us to our last section, and honestly, this might be the most important part of his entire legacy. We're going to talk about his ultimate lesson, a way of thinking that completely redefines what it even means to be rich.
This might be it. The most profound idea of all. I mean, think about it. The guy is one of the richest people on the planet, and he lives this famously simple life. Why? Because he figured out that real freedom isn't about being able to buy whatever you want. It's about getting to a point where you don't need anything you don't already have. It's about deciding for yourself what enough actually looks like. So when you boil it all down, what are we left with? It's this. The exact same things that build a fortune, patience, discipline, thinking long-term, having integrity, those are the very same things that build a good, meaningful life. It's not two separate playbooks, it's one. And so that really leaves us with just one final, powerful question to ask ourselves. It's not about how much money you can pile up, it's about you, defining your own finish line. What does success really look like for you? Because knowing the answer to that, well, that gives you something no amount of money can ever buy: peace of mind.